A family with a deeply harbored secret makes its way to a secluded southern state, where it comes across troubled young boys. In order to reveal their true colors, they give one of the boys a ride home and cannibalize him on their way. The film opens with a decent family having a barbecue in the middle of a secluded southern state. The oldest daughter, Amy, outgrows the boring vacation and goes for a walk. Meanwhile, two southern dudes named Vern and Billy show up, asking about their cousin Melior. The family finds them odd and tries to get rid of them. Jeffrey, the son, offers them chocolate, which Vern takes and eats within a second. When Amy arrives, the dudes finally leave. As the family moves along, they find Vern and Billy once again with a broken truck. This time, they have a shotgun, so Keith stops. Vern insists on getting a lift, but the mother, Kathleen, doesn't have a good feeling about this. Vern proposes that they take Billy with them, who can go to his house and bring help. Keith agrees and lets him hop in the trailer, while Vern waits on the road in the bare cold. On their way, Keith gets to know that Billy lives with his uncle and two cousins in a house that happens to be the only one in the area. While playing games, he snatches Jeffrey's notebook and figures that it belongs to Melior after identifying his handwriting. Before he can act on his suspicions, Jeffrey jabs two knives on each side of his neck and plasters a devious smile on his face. The family puts on their gear and cuts Billy into pieces. Jeffrey starts eating it raw, but Kathleen immediately stops him, stating that his immune system hasn't built up to digest raw meat yet. Amy doesn't seem to enjoy all that, so Kathleen gives her one of Billy's eyeballs in a plastic bag, knowing it's her favorite thing to eat. Keith plans on hunting their next victims from here, while Kathleen wants to move forward. Vern calls Billy out of concern, but Keith breaks his flip phone in half. Savannah serves her sister, Julianne, and her uncle, Pa, dinner. While they chat, their door gets knocked for the first time in forever. Savannah is an intuitive person and thinks it's the sheriff to deliver the news of Melior's disappearance. But to her surprise, it's the freaky cannibals all dressed up. They tell Savannah that they have walked a lot of miles to their place after their vehicle broke down and found Billy, who sent them here. Savannah doubts them, but Julianne is too excited to have visitors, so she invites them in. Pa also takes an interest in serving them. Keith asks if he can use their phone, but they reveal that the only cellular phone they had was with Billy. At the dinner table, the cannibal family takes position and reaches their weapons, but when Julianne's boyfriend, Big Mac, walks in, they immediately hide their weapons since he's a giant and strong man. Meanwhile, Vern encounters the deputy, Chasney, with whom he has bad blood. He offers Vern a lift, but he doesn't take it, revealing he's waiting for Billy, who's hitched a ride from a Los Angeles family. When Chasney leaves, he starts vomiting due to eating the chocolate he took from Keith. Back in the house, Keith offers everyone chocolate, but only Julie and Big Mac take it. Amy goes to the bathroom where she unknowingly drops Billy's eyeball. When she comes out, she is surprised to see Savannah waiting for her outside, so she starts sympathizing with her. Julianne barges in and interrupts their moment. When they return, Pa makes Savannah play the piano for the guests. Amy immediately feels attracted to her because she used to play piano too. Pa lets them stay for one night. He shows the parents their room. The girls give Jeffrey Billy's room and take Amy with them. Julie insists that Savannah share a bed with Amy because she shares hers with Big Mac. Amy vouches to sleep on the couch, but Savannah gives up her room and goes to tuck in her PA. In the other room, Keith is seen scolding Kathleen for always having second doubts as she fears having Big Mac around and asking for a gun instead of using knives. Keith doesn't want his kids to get influenced by Kathleen or adapt to killing easily using guns, so he threatens Kathleen to take away her pills from her if she doesn't stick to the plan. He goes to check up on Jeffrey and makes it clear that he can get Julianne to hunt, since Amy has her eyes on Savannah and Big Mac is Keith's target. Savannah shares her concerns about the suspicious family with Pa, but he laughs about it. When Savannah returns to her room, she finds Amy talking to her girlfriend over the phone and asks why they asked for a telephone when they have their own. Amy lies about the battery about to die and talks Savannah into sleeping with her instead of taking the couch. On the other hand, Julie occupies the bathroom and vomits her guts out, so Big Mac runs outside and vomits there. Back in Savannah's room, Amy indirectly shares that she wants to leave behind her family and become responsible like Savannah. She ends up kissing Savannah and turning her on. Outside, Jeffrey attacks Big Mac even after his father's warning. Savannah hears the distortion and tries looking over the situation, but Amy keeps her distracted by making her smoke a joint. Big Mac almost overpowers him, but his upset stomach gives Jeffrey the upper hand, and he kills him. Meanwhile, Keith goes to axe the old man, but he wakes up due to the noises coming from outside and spots Keith over his head. Keith immediately axes him down and goes outside to find Jeffrey. He brings him to his room, where he scolds him for disobeying the rules in front of Kathleen, but when Jeffrey walks out, Keith gives him a raw tongue as a reward and admits he's brave. When he leaves, Kathleen picks up a fight with Keith for encouraging Jeffrey to face dangers alone. Keith becomes manipulative and takes Kathleen's pills from her, blaming them for Kathleen's destruction of mental health. He sends her out to clean up the mess Jeffrey has left behind. Savannah and Amy are still making out in their rooms. When Amy decides to take out her knife and make her move, Savannah coincidentally pushes her off the bed while being in a moral dilemma of whether or not she's doing the right thing. When Amy falls, her knife gets jabbed in her thighs. Savannah comes closer to look over the wound. Amy lies to her, saying she keeps a knife for protection. She tries to stab Savannah, but she backs off when she hears Savannah making a promise to heal her. When Savannah goes to the barn to grab the medical stuff, she finds the family's trailer parked behind their house. She gets suspicious and hides behind the trailer when she hears Keith and Kathleen walking out after cleaning up Big Mac. When they leave to hunt Julianne, Savannah goes into the trailer. While Julianne pukes her guts out, she spots Billy's eyeball by the toilet seat and screams at the top of her lungs. Simultaneously, Savannah discovers Big Mac's corpse inside the trailer. She becomes alert and comes with a plan. Back inside, Julianne goes to Pa's room and finds him dead too. Before she can scream, Keith grabs her and brings her out for Kathleen to kill her. She has trouble making a move, so Keith helps her by smacking Julianne's head across the table. Jeffrey shows up to witness the process, but Kathleen is sending him away. Keith firmly tells Jeffrey to stay and watch everything. When Kathleen prepares herself to make the first move, Savannah shoots an arrow through the window, which pokes through Kathleen's neck, causing her to die on the spot. Amy hears the commotion and gets up. She watches Savannah running away with the arrow. When she comes down and finds her mom dead, she becomes emotional and blames her father for hunting down another family instead of picking up drifters from the streets. Jeffrey counterattacks by blaming her for letting Savannah go in the first place. Keith takes charge and tells the kids to take their mother's body back to the trailer. Once cleaned up, they tie up Julie and torture her to lure Savannah in, but instead, she sneaks back into her room and calls Chesney from Amy's phone. Jeffrey hears her, so he comes after her, but she knocks him out with her bow. Chesney reports the call to the sheriff and says that the call came from a Los Angeles number. He joins the dots, realizing that Billy also hitched a ride from some folk from Los Angeles, so he decides to pay a visit to Billy's place. Back in the house, Keith opens the door and threatens Savannah to show up before he chops off her sister's hands. Hearing this, Savannah comes down from the room with a knife to Jeffrey's neck. Sadly, her truck doesn't work out when the family threatens to cut open Julie. When she lets Jeffrey go, Amy sweet talks her into taking away the knife from her and tying her up with Julie. While Jeffrey is sent to sprinkle gasoline around the house to torch it, the lunatic father cooks Big Mac's meat and forces the sisters to eat for fun. When the sisters refuse to eat human flesh, he cuts off Julie's thumb. When he comes to cut Savannah's thumb, she turns him against Amy by revealing that she's queer and smokes illegal stuff. While Keith argues with Amy, Savannah loosens her wrists from the rope and jabs a fork in Keith's eyes. Amy comes at her, but she pins Amy on the floor and starts beating her. The father takes out his eyeball along with the fork and devours it. Thankfully, Vern shows up with his gun and shoots Keith in the shoulder. Jeffrey runs in to protect his family. Vern takes Keith and Savannah takes Jeffrey. She throws boiling water at him and suffocates him to death with a dough roller, whereas poor Vern gets stabbed in the head by Keith. Julie uses an axe to chop off his head for cannibalizing her lover. When the sisters get along and apologize to each other for everything, Amy takes her shot and stabs Julie in the back. Savannah loses sanity and throws Amy around the house, nearly killing her. She grabs a sledgehammer and makes her run, so she can have fun hunting her down. But when she runs after Amy, Chesney spawns and shoots her down to save Amy. When he reports everything to the police, Amy goes after him with a knife and stabs him to death. The film ends here. I hope you liked the story recap. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Thank you for being a part of Black's Movie Recaps. If these tales of mystery and intrigue sent shivers down your spine, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Black's Movie Recap for more bone-chilling narratives. Stay tuned, and until next time, stay captivated.